Good evening, Melrose. Mayor Paul Brodeur here again to talk about COVID. Tonight, though, I want to change our tone a little bit and get a perspective that we haven't heard from yet, and that is from our high school students. In particular, I'm really excited to have join us Alana Fahey, who is the president of the senior class here at Melrose High School. Alana, welcome to the studio, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Mayor Brodeur.
So, you had a lot of expectations and dreams and kind of had a typical idea of how your senior year was going to go. It's clearly not going that way. How are you doing?
Yeah, it definitely came as a bit of a shock. I think it was a really quick, it was something I had to adapt to really quickly where there wasn't much notice. And it's been hard for me and my friends. I definitely miss being at school. I miss seeing people every day. And I'm trying to take it one day at a time and not worry too much about senior week and graduation and those events potentially being derailed.
Sure. And I mean, you're also, you and most of your peers are in the process of figuring out what you want to do next year. And that's got to be challenging because I know Ethan, my own son, who I think you know, can't go to any accepted student days or anything like that. So it really changes the way you have to make those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you're not just the student, you're the leader of the senior class. How is that going? Are folks asking you a lot about, you must get a lot of questions, I guess, about what's going to happen, what about prom, what about graduation, what about senior week, things like that?
Yeah, I think people are definitely nervous. I've certainly been asked multiple times about how the rest of the year is going to look. It's hard to respond since I'm not exactly sure, but I think we all just have to try to stay as positive as we can, and I will update people as soon as I can.
That's a real terrific attitude, because one thing I've learned, and you've actually been president longer than I've been mayor, so you have more experience in leadership than me to a certain degree. What I've learned in this is it's changing every minute, it's changing every day, and it's really hard to give people that feeling of confidence. I don't know, do you feel like your friends are experiencing some of that too?
I think it depends on the person. I think people are coping with it in different ways. I think just across the board, people are definitely a little bit freaked out and a little bit nervous, but some people are more confident than others, I would say.
So how do you think, what are things that you and your friends are doing to pass the time, given this social distancing practice that we're asking folks to follow? How are you navigating that?
Well, we're really bored. We text a lot, we FaceTime a lot, just update each other about what's going on in our houses, what's going on with our siblings and our families, updates in the news. We make videos, make memes, everything like that. But it's definitely difficult to not be able to see them.
Oh, I'm sure that's the case. And how are your families doing? I don't know how big your family is, but every family's a little bit different, but this is a challenge for everyone.
Yeah, so there's 6 in my family. So my sister had to come home from college. So she's been a recent addition to the household, which was a bit unexpected, but it's nice to have her home. And my mom is she works in the Cambridge Public Schools, so she's off for just as long as we are. So she's holding down the fort.
Well, it's great that she has that opportunity. It's great that you guys can all be together, because that can help. Having that family support when you can't have some of those normal outlets is really terrific. So I want to talk a little bit about teenagers in general and young adults and how they're coping, because we do have this social distancing. And I think to a certain degree on social media and stuff, you guys are getting a little bit of a bum rap. I've certainly seen comments about they aren't taking it seriously, or they're doing this, that, or the other thing. What do you think about that? Because my sense is that most of the kids that I have the opportunity to connect with are really doing their best to follow the rules and help keep the community safe.
Yeah, I think honestly most kids, at least the ones who I've been in touch with recently, really do understand the gravity of what's going on right now, but it's still really hard for them to deal with such a drastic change in routine and such a sudden change in routine. It's hard not to see their friends. It's hard not to see their teachers, and sports have been pushed back, and all of the other extracurricular activities that they're so used to participating in. That's definitely tough. So I think a lot of why some kids aren't social distancing is because they're just trying to hold on to some little piece of normal amidst all the challenges that are happening right now.
But I feel particularly bad for particular seniors that might be in their last year of a sport or an activity, or the drama club had to basically shut down and not participating in a competition that they've historically done very, very well in. And it's not fair, but it's the way we got to be. Have you heard any particular stories from kids about that? Like, this was going to be my year, my activity, my opportunity, and I'm losing it.
Yeah, I think I can speak most especially on behalf of the seniors who were all really looking forward to the second semester of senior year, classes kind of dimming down a little bit and being able to spend a lot of time with your friends and going to sports games and seeing the spring show and senior week and prom and everything that happens at the end of the year. I think it's definitely going to be a hard transition.
So I'm wondering if sometimes it is hard for folks like me to reach communities. I have good contacts with parents, with community leaders and that kind of things. How can I and how can the city reach your peers and tell them how important it is, as frustrating as it is, to do the social distancing and make sure we can, again, keep the whole community safe?
Yeah, I think something that's important to stress right now is how what we do today can have such a big impact on how the next few months play out and what exactly happens at the end of May and towards graduation and the end of the school year. And I think that it's hard for high school students to kind of realize that right now, because it's, like I said, it's such a quick transition and they're just focused about not being in school for these 3 weeks. But I think if we really stress to them that social distancing and staying home and avoiding unnecessary contact right now, that could positively impact the end of the school year, I think they would be really responsive to that.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come down. I wish your schedule is a little bit busier. This maybe isn't that much of an imposition given the way things are going, but it is really important. I very much appreciate it. Obviously, your peers respect you, given the role that you have, and the fact that you're taking time to care and help the community by delivering that message. It's going to make a big difference, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all you're doing to help our city.
Of course, and to Alana's peers that are out there and watching, you don't have to listen to me, but you should really listen to her. And I know there's a lot going on. I promise you, we're going to get through it. You're going to graduate high school. You're going to get off into the world and do tremendous things. It's going to be a little bit harder. Might take a little bit longer than we originally thought, but we're with you and we appreciate everything you can do to help us as a community stay safe. So good luck and thanks for watching.